Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 157 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we are continuing our deep dive into contribution, that area and aspect of the life framework. It's one of the 9 main areas of the life framework that I share in pretty much everything I do these days because that's how powerful a framework it is. Today we're going to talk about a 5-step process for change. This little symbol, a little triangle symbol, I learned a long time ago, just like German. If I was taking notes, if I could put the word in German and it was a shorter word, I would use that. And then I would also use symbols to simplify things and make words. So this change symbol is something I learned a long time ago, and I still use it today, obviously. So 5-step process to be an advocate for change. Why do we want to be an advocate for change? Because there are things that we can make a difference. We can change our little part of the world, maybe not the whole world, but our little part of the world, and make a positive impact on those around us, things that we care about. So what's the process for doing that? Number 1, we want to identify what matters to you. What makes you upset? What bothers you, And I'm going to share an example of at least one person that shared theirs with me. But what things really get you going or get you riled up that you think are just total injustices or you want to see change? Those are the things we want to advocate for and help. Step 2 is to educate yourself. Find out the facts. Find out what's really going on. Don't just go based on something you heard on the news. Investigate it, right? Pretend you're an investigative journalist. Remember when we used to have those? And actually seek out and find more information about the topic. Find out what's going on in your community and where you might be able to help. Because step 3 is to start small and act locally. Why? Because the biggest impact we can make initially is on our own environment and on the things that are right around us. And those are also the areas that tend to have the least amount of help and action, right? There's global organizations, there's national and international organizations for just about any cause you can imagine. But when it comes to the local level and that trickling down to the local level, that seldom happens. So if you can use and apply at your local level, you're going to have a much greater impact on actually your life and the life of those around you and those you love and care about. Step 4, use your voice and platform to get the word out, to educate other people, to share what you're doing, to share what's working, to seek help with your projects from other people in your community, etc. And finally, step 5, be consistent and patient. Why? Because the first time you do something, it might be small. It might be slow to start. You might only get a few results, and then you build upon the success of those results. So let's look at somebody's example of applying these 5 steps. And that's what we're going to do for our action item today. You're going to apply these 5 steps in your life and see where you could be an advocate for change. Now, are you going to go out and do it? I hope you will, but there's no guarantee. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Depends on what else is going on in your life right now. Let's look at Denise's story. And I can really relate to hers because I have children that have learning differences. And growing up, I also have very spirited granddaughters. I found that out yesterday. Growing up and going through the school system, they went to private school the first 8 years, and then they went to the public school, high school, and the end of middle school. And I guess high school, 9th grade on. And it was definitely a challenge. And I ran into the things that Denise is running into. So I'm going to grab a magnifying glass and share her story with you. This step 1, I'm going to go through the steps so you know, give you an example of doing it. Step 1, identify what matters. Denise is a teacher who's seen firsthand how students with learning disabilities often fall behind due to lack of resources. Number 2, educate herself. What did she do to find out more about what the situation actually is and in her area? She attends webinars on inclusive education, joins online forums with parents and advocates, and reads policy briefs on special education funding. Step 3, start small. Denise starts a reading club for neurodiverse students at her school and applies for a mini grant to get assistive tech tools. Step 4, use her voice. She writes a blog post that gets shared within her district and speaks at a school board meeting about increasing special education support. Step 6, be consistent. Denise continues to mentor other teachers, keep advocating at meetings, and eventually help shape a new district-wide inclusion initiative to get the resources and the things that children and neurodiverse, man, that is such a broad subject. As adults, I have learned we do not learn the same all of us. So why would we ever expect that children would? Why would we expect that we can put them in a cookie cutter format and they're all going to just fall in line? It doesn't work that way. Statistically, that doesn't make any sense. Common sense wise, that doesn't make any sense. So like I said, I love and can totally relate to her story. And I definitely was and still tend to be periodically an advocate for meeting children where they are and teaching them in ways that they can relate to. And then I've got Stephanie's story and Timothy's story. Stephanie's an advocate for clean neighborhoods. So she gets involved in her neighborhood because she got sick of seeing the mess and the trash all over her neighborhood. So she educated herself by learning about urban environments, issues, recycling programs, and community cleanup grants. She also connected with local environmental nonprofits. Start small. Stephanie organized a Saturday cleanup day with friends and neighbors, providing the gloves and the trash bags herself that first time. She used her voice. She posts before and after pictures on social media and tagged city council members, gaining momentum and visibility for the cause. I love that one. Hey, we did this to clean up something and did something that the city should be doing, but isn't. So, hey, can we get a little help with this? And then 5, be consistent. Monthly cleanups became a neighborhood tradition, and eventually the city sponsored her efforts, installing more bins and signs about littering to help people. I have a state park that I love to go to. I used to go there. I used to walk there every single day when I could drive. And one of my biggest pet peeves is that there are no trash containers anywhere at the park. The whole philosophy is carry in, carry out. And I get that, being a Girl Scout and a Girl Scout leader for a long time, but it doesn't happen. People don't do that. So there's trash containers at the pavilion, which people put trash in they shouldn't put in. And then there's no trash containers anywhere around the park. Now I understand it's a big park, but I contend it would be easier to have trash containers strategically located where there's high volume traffic of people, like down at the waterfall, and go drive the rangers down there once a day to pick up the trash like you do the camping area, than to have people litter all over the park and have there be litter in the park. I used to, whenever I would walk, pick up litter as I went around the park, and it was amazing how much litter there was in areas that weren't in the camping areas, or wasn't in, because I didn't really walk in the camping areas, that wasn't, it was just on all the trails. And so it was super frustrating. Anyway, that's one of my little pet peeves. Obviously, there's a place I could be an advocate for change. So what's our assignment today? Be an advocate for change. Apply this simple 5-step process. Think about something that you are passionate about or you have strengths in, or that matters to you. Pick an area or something that matters to you. 2nd, educate yourself. 3rd, start small and local. 4th, use your voice and your platform to get the word out. 5, be consistent and patient, because it doesn't always change overnight, right? When was the last time you did something and it just changed overnight? Very seldom, right? All right, if I can help you anyway, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, share in the comments below just the thing you're going to be an advocate for change for, or you would like to be an advocate for change for. And I'll do the same. I'll have to think about that and share a new one today. I pretty much am always advocating for change. Change is awesome because everything changes all the time anyway. So why not proactively create the changes we want to see in the world? All right, see you tomorrow.